one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
UFC 287. Welcome back to Kicking It with Saint. I really got to come up with a name for the UFC shows. I got a name for the WWE shows. I do not have a specific name for the UFC shows because Kicking It with Saint originally was just football. And then it just branched into so many other things because I love sports so much. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Izzy and Pereira, however the fuck you pronounce this man's last name. I done seen people pronounce this man's name so many different ways. Alec Pineda, Alex Pereira, Alex Pineda, Alec Pineda. Like, I done seen so many different pronunciations and pronouncings of his name, whichever word I was supposed to use right there. But we're here to talk about that. Before I get into that, though, some people might be thinking I'm making a video about Draymond Rudy Gobert or Rudy Gobert incident. I probably will. I probably won't. Haven't decided. I will address that real quick. I have no problem with Draymond's tweet. Rudy Gobert should have minded his own fucking business back when that thing popped off at first. I was one of the people who, when it first popped off, it was real strange to me that everybody had something to say about it. You know what I'm saying? I knew the Draymond haters was going to have something to say about it, but so many different NBA players and athletes having something to say about it was so strange to me. And so obviously the way this basketball karma thing worked, Rudy Gobert would go and try to punch his own teammate or punch his own teammate in the chest. Why are you that big? See, this is my problem with this dude, Rudy, bro. If you listen to my channel, you know I'm somebody who constantly say Rudy should not have won all 3 of those Defensive Player of the Years. The NBA is a joke for giving him those. And this is why players don't care about playing defense. And this is why I don't give a fuck about defense at this point. Because if Rudy Gobert can go snatch 3 of them bitches over Draymond, Kawhi, Paul George, and LeBron, dudes like that, then fuck it. But we're not here to talk about that. Rudy Gobert should have minded his own fucking business back then. But of course, he let a guard lay up on him like he do in real life. Rudy Gobert ain't seen a point guard he won't allow to score on his sorry ass. And of course, he allowed Kyle ain't even a guard. He a forward, undersized forward. But Kyle played like one of the slowest players I ever seen. The way he moved is so they call it methodical. I just say that man moved like an old man intentionally. Nonetheless, Adesanya Pineda, however the fuck you pronounce the man's name. It was an interesting night. It was over in the second round. Late in the second round, spoiler, Alex Pineda was knocked out. Alec Pereira was knocked out by Izzy Adesanya. And this was shocking to me because I couldn't remember the last time I had seen. When I was watching this fight, you got to understand, I was laid back. When this knockout happened, and it came out of nowhere, I literally sat up and my mouth hit the floor. Like, it's very few times I see knockouts that just stun me. This stunned me because I did not see Izzy getting a finish. Like, John Jones beating Cyril Gane as quick as he didn't do, like, I was excited. I was electric after it happened, but it wasn't really shocking. It was more of an elation that the king has returned home. He is what he say he is and what I know him to be. This was shocking because I did not think Izzy could knock this dude. I'm not even going to say I didn't think he could knock him out. I did not think he would knock out a focused, prepared, ready Alex Pereira. Clearly, Alex Pereira did not respect the power of Israel Adesanya. Anytime you start to do what he did, and I know Izzy said he drew him into his trap. I don't agree with that. Izzy could be telling the truth. I don't agree with that. Izzy, to me, because I know Izzy tall, but when you look at his frame compared to Alex Pereira, Pereira is a huge guy. He just was able to back Izzy down. Plus, Alex don't move backwards. He only moved forward. So it's hard to say that he really fell into a trap. I just think the way this fight is it's hard for Izzy to move and create the distance that he tried to create because Alex Pereira just moves forward at the end of the day. However, when you move forward the way Alex do, so disrespectfully, to not care too much about any shot that you take because you don't believe that you can be knocked out by this dude. Now that's just crazy to me because Alex Pereira probably could have knocked out Izzy in that first round. You could tell Alex is a phenomenal striker with the hands. He was doing great with the kicks to the calves and everything. He was on his way to winning this fight and probably getting another knockout. But what you just can never forget, and if you're a fighter in any sport, if you done competed in any type of mixed martial art, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, karate, whatever you done competed in, you know you can be knocked out by any person if you don't respect that person, that person's power, what they can do on the feet, on the ground. Alex Pereira just seemed as though he did not respect Israel Adesanya's power. And that's wild to me because, listen, even if I don't think Izzy is a knockout, he clearly not a knockout artist, but even if you as a fighter or as a fan, you don't believe somebody can knock somebody out. As a fighter, you're never supposed to believe that going into an action. You can say it, even though I wouldn't prefer people say it, because you see what happened when Masvidal kept talking about how Kamaru Usman ain't got no power, and then he got slept. So I don't agree with that. I think it's a foolish individual who come into a fight not believing they can be knocked out. Not only that, this knockout completely changed Masvidal. After he got knocked out by Kamaru Usman, he was not the same fighter. Israel Adesanya he didn't technically get knocked out. He did get knocked out in the previous sport that they did, but in the UFC, he was finished, but he wasn't knocked out. And it take a lot for somebody like Izzy, the champion, to go through what he went through and be able to bounce back. Because you saw Kamaru Usman get knocked out and not be able to get his title back. So shout out to Izzy for that. And I understand Izzy is a tough person to root for at times. Motherfucker wore a dog collar to the they asked him, why you got a collar on? He said, because I'm a dog and I'm about to be unleashed. And I get it, bro. He got these corny catchphrases, the Elsa ones, the 9/11 ones. He got a lot of corny phrases. But he a talented dude. I think the problem is not necessarily a problem. So I think they need to run this back. For one, it'd be hella unfair to not give Alex Pereira his immediate rematch if that's what he want. That'd just be insane to me. It's no such thing as, oh, he didn't earn a rematch. He literally was just a champion. You gave Izzy a rematch. I don't care that Izzy had a lot of wins before that. In my opinion, especially because I think Amanda Nunes is going to run it back with Pena. And Pena was a champion for what? She didn't even defend her title. She lost as soon as she faced Amanda again. She finna get a rematch. So I do believe that they should give Not to mention, Alex Pereira done beat this man 3 times. Izzy just won once. It's insane if Izzy don't have to fight this dude ever again. That'd be insane to me. Now, if I'm Alex Pereira, I probably wouldn't even want to fight Izzy, even though I'm pretty sure he could beat Izzy. I actually think he could go into a fight right now and beat Izzy. He just can't be stupid enough to leave his hands down. I mean, and to just, when you go into a corner and you start doing what Alex Pereira was doing, basically trying to tee off on Izzy, body shots, some head shots, throw a couple uppercuts, and you just decide, okay, I'm not going to defend my head with either one of these fists. I'm finna just free throw. Well, you get slept. Now, you go back and look at the punch that Izzy knocked him out with. It's so strange that's what knocked him out. It just tells me one thing about Pereira. He clearly have not been hit enough upside the head. He clearly has not been in a position where, I think this was the first time in his career he done been slept like that, as a matter of fact. And I could tell, because people who don't get knocked out on a regular basis, when they do finally get knocked out, sometimes it's like, what? How did that knock him out? Because he's not used to being knocked out. For Pereira, though, I think it's embarrassing to lose your title. I think it's embarrassing to lose your title when you just chose to disrespect Israel's strength. Because that's what it looked like to me. Because dare I say, Pereira probably looked better in this one to start this one than he did in the first fight. And I think Pereira is a good fighter. I'm interested to see Pereira take on some of these other contenders. That's what I think should happen. I don't think he should get an immediate rematch, but I also didn't think Valentino Shevchenko should get an immediate rematch. The only champion who should have gotten an immediate rematch, in my opinion, over these last couple fights where champions lost their fights was Kamaru, Izzy, and Amanda. No, not Amanda. I thought Juliana Pena should have kept that title for a little bit longer. The two dudes, both of them, to me, they deserved immediate rematches because, for one, Kamaru Usman, the competition that he had already cleaned, that's the thing. Both dudes cleaned out their divisions. It's insane not to give them immediate rematches when you done swept through the division the way they have. They not necessarily holding no top contenders back because all the top contenders, they done beat. And in this situation, unless you can find a good fight for Izzy, I'm not going to lie, I probably wouldn't be mad at an immediate rematch because I'm not interested to see him fight Robert Whittaker. I'm not interested to see him fight Marvin Vettori, who at this point is just begging for title shots that he don't deserve. I'm not interested in seeing him fight none of these dudes he done already beat multiple times. If anything, I'm more interested to see Izzy move up or move down. I'm not interested to see him continue to walk through this division. Maybe he can, I saw Jan Blachowicz say he could he could move down to the weight class that Izzy at and compete. Maybe that's what's in the best interest because I have no interest in seeing Izzy walk through this division for a third time. I am interested in Pereira making his way through this division, earning another title shot. But we'll see. Jorge Masvidal called it a career. Shout out to Jorge, man. Great fighter. Great career. It was time for him to retire, in my opinion. The game just passed him. I mean, he did a lot of great for the sport. The problem with Jorge in the division he fight in is too many great wrestlers, man. At the end of the day, Jorge want to stand up and fight. And the majority of his last couple fights, he done spent more time trying to defend takedowns than he actually been able to stand up and fight. And then when he able to stand up, he just too exhausted from defending the takedowns. So I do think it was time. He'll make the UFC Hall of Fame because if Cowboy Cerrone can make the Hall of Fame, any fucking body can make the UFC Hall of Fame. And I'm not really mad at that. I have more of a problem with Hall of Fames like baseball keeping dudes out of the Hall of Fame who should be in. So I don't got a problem with the Donald Cerrone making it. But if he made it, Jorge Masvidal definitely gonna make it. But, you know, a lot of the dudes, like, I see their career starting to tick down a little bit. A lot of the dudes who was more so stand-up fighters, because a lot of the great fighters nowadays, bro, they box too. I mean, they can stand up, yeah, but if they sense that they not getting it done standing up, they taking the fight to the ground. It just is what it is. I understand Jorge like to say, you know what I do to crotch sniffers, but at the end of the day, the Colby Covingtons, the Kamaru Usmans, the Gilbert Burns, the true tops of the division, they can stand up with you and they can go to the ground. And I don't even think Colby is as great as people make him out to be. He don't take on top competitions. He run from top competition. He only is fighting title fights. I don't understand it. Because if Usman had won, he would not have gotten a title shot. So I don't understand how he get one now that Leon Edwards is the champion, coming off of 2 L's. But you give him credit for beating Masvidal, who done lost his last, 3 fights. So it's a weird division. A lot of these divisions being held hostage, in my opinion, by Dana White's favoritism towards the top guys who have been beat multiple times. But shout out to Jorge on a great career. Great win for Gilbert Burns. I would say it wasn't impressive enough to get you a title fight, but the only reason I would say that is because he's already given a title shot to Colby. In any other circumstance, this should have gotten him a title shot. So I understand he'll probably be the dude who get it if the one dude don't make weight or some dude can't make the fight. But nonetheless, I expect it. I didn't expect. This is pretty much the fight that I expected out of Gilbert and Jorge. I didn't expect a knockout. Jorge could have got knocked out because he just don't defend good anymore. He can't defend the punches that people throw. But Gilbert, as good as he is at knocking dudes out at times, I don't think he the greatest stand-up boxer. Even though he done floored Kamaru Usman. He done floored a couple people. When you put him in there with somebody else who is equally as great or if not better, the only difference between him and Masvidal is the age at this point. Well, both of them older. But Masvidal clearly is no longer in his physical prime. I think you could see that over his last couple fights. And to me, the toll that it's taken on him to constantly have to defend takedowns and wrestling is just too much for him. But shout out to Masvidal on a great career. Salute to any warrior who walk into that octagon and get dirty. Respect to you. Gastelum and Chris Curtis, they had a great fight. I don't know how they were still standing at the end of that fight, but they had a great fight. Just throwing hands at each other, bro. I thought Curtis was gonna get put down early. He was eating a lot of big shots early. It didn't feel like he could keep up with Kevin Gastelum, but you know, Gastelum's tank looked like it was running a little low late in the round. What's crazy is because how great a boxer Curtis was, he was able to win a lot of exchanges where he probably losing those exchanges if not for the fact he is so well-rounded as a boxer. You should go and watch that match if you didn't. You could probably watch that match free because that was not even on the main card. That was a preliminary fight. Kevin Holland got a knockout on the main card, though. I can't remember the dude's name that he knocked out, but he got a knockout late in that fight. It was another knockout. Rob Font got a first-round knockout against his opponent. It was a good card ultimately. But to touch back on the Izzy thing, after discussing the things I've discussed so far in the video, I think you got to run it back. Like I said, unless it's a new opponent, I might be interested in the Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz is not really a fighter that I enjoy watching. So if he want to lay on Izzy for 5 rounds again, I'm just not interested in seeing that. But like I said, I like Rob Whittaker and all these other dudes in the Izzy's division. I'm just not interested in seeing him run through this division for a 3rd time. To me, that would just be absolutely insane to watch, or to have to sit and watch. Because to be completely honest with you, if he have to run through this division for a 3rd time, Izzy becomes Alex Pereira to these dudes, because now he done beat them 2 times, 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested in that at all. So I'm interested to see if he would go up or down in weight classes, because I feel like that's pretty much, unless he giving Pereira a rematch. I mean, what else we doing? And but hey, we shall see. I definitely think a rematch should happen, only because to me that's what makes sense. But you know, what do I know? real quick to touch back on the Masvidal retirement also. I tried to keep that as nice as I could. I'm not a Masvidal fan at all. I'm not a fan of the person or the fighter. But I show all respect to dudes who step into the octagon. But then again, I also don't like Kobe Covington. So I'm not a fan of Kobe Covington, a fan or the human being. I do think, like I said, it's crazy that Kobe really ain't got to put it, like, you know, coming in getting this title shot don't really make too much sense to me. But it's a weak division. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Masvidal retiring, like I said, does not shock me in the slightest. It was that time. But, you know, good luck to him in his future endeavors, bro. Like I said, though, I tried to keep it as nice as I possibly could about Jorge Masvidal because I'm not really a fan of I'm not a fan of Jorge Masvidal. But, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there who love Jorge. I'm just not one of them. I do think one of the things that, like I said before, just in recapping, the fact that I don't think he can hang with none of the wrestlers in his division, in his weight class. And if you can't hang with them dudes in your weight class, if you move up and they wrestling you too, you definitely not going to be able to hang with those dudes. So, you know what I'm saying? Now for Izzy, it is one dude who I would like to see him fight. But I don't know if he would make weight for Izzy. And that's Khamzat Chimaev. If Khamzat Chimaev could make weight, to me, that's the match. If you don't give Alex... Because I really feel like Alex... You can make an excuse, or you could convince me that Alex Pereira need to go through the division at least one time before he get another shot. You could probably convince me of that. But if you convince me of that, it's no way you can convince me that the next opponent for Izzy should be Khamzat Chimaev. Which, you know, if I had to take an early guess on who I would take in that match, I would probably be Khamzat. Because I don't think Izzy would be able to wrestle with this dude. And I don't think Izzy would be able to defend the way this dude wrestled. It would be very interesting, though, because Izzy is a great fighter, so it's hard to bet against him. So I'm interested in that fight. I also believe Izzy Khamzat presents a threat standing up. Like, this ain't no one-dimensional fighter, as he proved against Gilbert Burns, even though I will say to the day I die, I think he lost that fight. Nonetheless, if Khamzat can make weight, I got no problem with Khamzat Chimaev being a heel, but don't be a heel because you're missing weight, my boy, because that affects your career and your pockets. Make weight and then be a heel. But I'm very, and it's also funny seeing how people talk about Khamzat Chimaev compared to how they talk about Kobe Covington, but that's neither here nor there. With that being said, though, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Spirits will be up later in the week, as in my vibe and my energy. But I do appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.